Hey everyone, my name is Sophie Ash and I'm the owner of a medical writing agency based in Toronto and a careers coach for new and aspiring medical writers. I've experienced enormous success in my career, particularly in the past couple of years, and I'm here with you today to share for the very first time some of my unconventional paths to success. I hope you like gifts because they'll be featuring a lot in this presentation. This is the first time my story's ever been told. I really believe in the power of openness, transparency, and vulnerability. People often look at my success and wonder where it came from. They ask, did you have fancy connections from day one? Did you have a really privileged start? If you don't know what lies ahead of you when it comes to your career, trust me, no one gets it better than I do. So, who am I? My name is Sophie Ash. I'm a badass entrepreneur. I run a thriving medical writing business, as well as a company coaching new freelance writers how to be more successful. I have a whole team of people helping me, from writers to designers to marketers to subject matter experts. I easily earn 6 figures a year. I get to travel often. My favorite place at the moment is San Diego. I have more clients than I can handle, and often I subcontract out writing projects while providing training and overseeing projects from a high level. I'm 100% remote and independent. I usually work from home, but wherever I am, that's where I work. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was working from Banff in Alberta, and that's actually where I took this picture that you see on the left. I was on a patio, there were mountains in the background. It's really, really awesome. So everyone sees the glitz and glamour of my current life, the travel, the fancy restaurants, the new things I buy. But in this webinar, I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I want to show you more of the real life aspects. It wasn't all butterflies and rainbows for me. My rock bottom was pretty rough, and it's what led me on this journey to career freedom in the first place. So I'd like to share that with you because I think it's pretty important that you have a well-rounded view of where I'm at and where my success came from. Then, after you hear my backstory, I'm going to show you how you can have this too. You'll leave knowing exactly how to fast-track your dream medical writing career, how to get opportunities others have only dreamed about without mass-producing webinars, how to hit your highest earning potential in the shortest amount of time. First, I'm going to show you how I got my first senior copywriter job after just 3.5 weeks after leaving my full-time job as a nanny. How I landed my first 2 remote medical writing clients in 9.5 weeks and quadrupled my hourly rate in 14 weeks. And how I used my signature Backdoor success formula to grow a 6-figure medical writing business and overtake experienced writers in just 18 months. I'm going to tell you my stories so that you can learn from my mistakes, which are in fact extremely common, and my unlikely triumphs. I believe I'm very representative of all of the people out there who really hate their job and current lifestyle and want to step up their game professionally. So I think you'll be able to relate a lot to what I'm about to tell you and find it really helpful in your own career. Here's my promise to you. If you stick around until the end of this webinar, I'll give you 3 quick hacks to get you closer to achieving your dream medical writing career. Through taking action in these 3 ways, you won't have to struggle with endless trial and error and waste years making the most common mistakes that I see my clients make. Yep, pretty exciting stuff. So this webinar was made especially for medical writers who want more freelance clients or who want to jump from full-time employment into freelancing, established freelance medical writers who want to earn more and work less, people who've never heard of medical writing before but have a medical background or curious about entrepreneurship and are interested in the opportunity to have more freedom and earning potential. We do also help people get full-time medical writing work, but we specialize in supporting freelancers. I'm a natural-born entrepreneur, visionary, and industry leader, and I know how to help writers succeed on their own terms. So where did my journey begin? Well, in 2014, I was trapped and helpless. My career fell apart. I was almost kicked off my degree program, couldn't qualify as a dietitian, and I'd spent 7 years working my ass off for a job that I didn't want, and I couldn't even have as a last resort. I dreaded waking up in the morning. I gained a lot of weight, I didn't sleep well, I had depression, and really bad acne. I was miserable at university and didn't really get along with anyone on my course. I just wanted to fit in and feel normal, but everyone was so competitive and it was a very cutthroat environment. I really hated it, but I told myself I should stick with it because that's what everyone said was the right thing to do. And this is me on the left with a group of people that I studied with, and I just never felt like I fitted in and wasn't really sure if I was supposed to be there, but it was the only thing that I knew and it was what everyone said was the right thing to do, so that's what I did. For 2 years, I was totally dependent on my boyfriend for everything. Here he is literally carrying me home. I was severely underpaid and he earned a lot and had a very stable career, so I relied on him a lot to pay for everything. My boyfriend had control of all our finances. I had to ask his permission to buy anything, even when I needed therapy or medication. He was very supportive, but I had zero independence and I couldn't even make simple decisions on my own. I would call my boyfriend at work, crying, asking him to come home and take care of me. The stress was crippling and I felt so behind in life. My job didn't leave me any time for me. Maybe you're watching this and you've just had a long day and you know what I'm talking about, but yeah, I was very depressed and I just felt completely lost and like I didn't really have a clear purpose. I was always getting sick and having tests, medical tests, because I didn't know why. And one time, as you can see in this photo, I had to have a tube up my nose and down my throat. It was connected to a box that I had to carry around with me for 24 hours. And I still had to go to work. I was working as a nanny and a housekeeper at the time. And everyone was staring at me. It was just awful and so humiliating. I couldn't take time off to do things like this without having to beg my boss and inconvenience her. Maybe you can relate to having this lack of freedom, but it was incredibly difficult for me to take time for myself for things like this. All I ever heard from the doctor was, it's stress, you're worried about nothing. There's no actual issue. But I had this severe stomach pain that kept coming back for hours at a time, and sometimes all I could do was lay in bed because it was so bad. I even drove to see specialists that were over 2 hours away for tests, and nothing ever helped. There were actually a few occasions when I had to go to the emergency department at the hospital because the pain got so bad. And there was never an official diagnosis, it was just stress. I ended up following my partner across the world. So my boyfriend was the only one of us who had a successful career, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do yet other than start a business. So when he had the opportunity to emigrate to Canada from the UK, I blindly followed him with no real plan, and honestly, I wouldn't have survived without him. We were really poor for a while. Getting a place to live with so little money was very challenging. We didn't get any of our stuff delivered for months, and then it got lost somewhere, and that delayed things even more. So we didn't even have furniture or clothes for months, and we literally lived out of a suitcase. This was one of the first places that we lived at in Toronto. I invested thousands of dollars in a nutrition consultancy business that failed, and then my relationship of 8 years fell apart. I didn't have a source of income. I was still dependent on my ex to pay my rent and buy my food. It was a really low point in my life, and my parents really wanted me to move back to the UK, but that would have been unbearable and felt like even more of a failure. I plastered a smile on my face to get through the day. Out of sheer desperation, I took another nanny and housekeeper job just so I could afford a place to live and pay the bills. It felt like an enormous step backwards even for me. I started taking care of someone else's kid again for a very low salary. I had my own place to live again, but I was barely getting by as a nanny. It was really tough. My precious youth was spent sorting spaghetti and making weird soups for a kid who hated me. I was given long lists of chores to do every day. I was constantly cleaning up other people's mess. My job was to make everyone else's lives easier, whilst mine became more and more mundane and restricted. I had to give up all of my hobbies because I was always at work and exhausted. Maybe you're in a similar position now with your career, and you feel like you're always giving to others but rarely getting what you want and need for yourself. I hear you. I've definitely been there. Paying rent was hard. I tracked every dollar. My job was really degrading. I literally scrubbed other people's toilets for money. I didn't think things could have gotten any worse, but they did. I wasn't allowed to cry at work, but the kid really hated me and I just had to take it, and it was so awful. Eventually, I reached a breaking point and I just had to get out. I was too unhappy to stay. One day I was doing my millionth grocery store run of the week and could barely keep my eyes open while I was driving. I thought, screw this, I can't function like this anymore. I needed to find a better way to make money without selling my soul. I needed to be happy again. I badly wanted to feel free, to live a life on my own terms, not work for somebody who undervalued and underpaid me anymore. I called my new boyfriend in tears because I just couldn't take it anymore. I saw a way out and I took it. I moved in with him and his mom and his grandparents way out of the city. I had a 4-week crossover period where I was still in my old job and I was trying to figure out what else I was going to do. So I would listen to informational interviews at work. I would conduct them at work, and then I would listen back to them on the subway while I was going to and from work, and listen to them, take notes. And then eventually I started Prospology on this huge piece of wallpaper on the kitchen table, which you can see here on the left, and just started brainstorming everything because I needed a plan. I needed to do something. And my boyfriend's grandma was watching me, and she didn't understand what I was doing because she didn't speak English. It was really scary, but I was hopeful and excited, and this really was when it all started to change for me. If I fast forward to today, honestly, I'm living the life of my dreams. I have a 6-figure business in medical writing. I'm working remotely. I can travel freely. And all of this happened in just 18 months, which I'm going to explain to you now. This picture on the left is me at a training conference that I went to recently. In the middle is me kind of on a working vacation with the palm trees in the background. This is in California. And the picture on the right is my balcony and where I often get to work at home with this awesome view. I'm living a life I couldn't even have dreamed of, and it's really amazing. So now I have complete freedom and independence. Often I decide to stay home all day and work from bed in my PJs, having cuddles with my kitten. You can see her on the left. Her name's Layla. I regularly go for a swim in the middle of the day. I actually just came back from a swim because I can work all my meetings around my own schedule. I get to do fun stuff like having photo shoots as part of growing my business, as you can see on the right. And a lot of the time it doesn't even feel like I'm working because I love what I do, and it's the more flexible lifestyle. I could never have imagined this. So I'm sure you're wondering how you can get this too, and it might seem intimidating to you, but I'm going to show you how you can get it too. And that the conventional way of achieving career success doesn't actually work. By the end of this webinar, I'll make you an offer to take you by the hand and teach you step by step everything that helped me succeed so that you too can have a career you love. Don't worry if you're a newbie at business, if you've never had a company before, it's absolutely fine. Everyone has to start somewhere, and this is what we teach. Don't worry if you're scared to start taking on clients. I know a lot of people worry about if they can meet the expectations of their clients. and it can seem really scary, but don't worry, we help people do this all the time. And if you're still undecided between whether you want to freelance or whether you want to work full-time, that can all be integrated as part of the service that we offer, so don't worry about that. And if you're experienced or inexperienced or new to medical writing, that's also fine, because we do offer training there, so don't worry about that. So how many people do you think are unhappy in their job? In a 2019 survey conducted by Gallup, it was discovered that 85% of people are unhappy in their job. Yeah, huge number. It's very, very common. You're really not alone. The job market is just not what it used to be. And if you don't know what your next move is, it's really not your fault. So how many applicants do you think get a job interview that apply for something? So according to Workopolis, only 2% of people who apply for a job actually get an interview. We'll learn more about why that is later, but for now, let's just say that there's a lot of conflicting information out there, and I understand how tough it can be to get ahead. Now, I really want you to pay attention from this point, especially because I'm going to be sharing what my clients pay me thousands for. So put your phone on silent, grab a snack, tell your grandma you'll call her back later, and get ready to learn some cool stuff. So how did I go from struggling nanny to six-figure CEO? This is the $1 million question, and something that I'm only speaking out about now for the first time. So this is when everything started to shift drastically for me. So just 3 weeks after I left my crappy nanny housekeeper job, I had a job offer to be a senior copywriter at the biggest ad agency in the city, and I'm in Toronto. So this is me celebrating with some of my friends, and I'm the one on the right, and it was so exciting. It was really so exciting. And from this point, I really started to feel revived and excited again. I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where you feel like you can finally exhale because everything's just coming together so nicely. Well, that's how I felt when I started my first writing job. I got to be creative, have fun at work, meet lots of interesting people, learn a lot, and put all of my medical knowledge and writing skills to good use. I was sleeping better, I was taking better care of my appearance, my health was improving in general, and I felt so much happier and more fulfilled, and I'd already tripled my hourly rate in just 3 weeks. It felt really good. When you know how to make money easily, it gets quite fun to ask for more. Just 2 weeks into my contract, I asked for another pay increase and it got approved. Then after the 3rd week, I decided to walk away from the office and the false security of a full-time job because I realized I could earn way more doing my own thing. Within 18 months of freelance medical writing and copywriting, I was making 6 figures and I had lots of other writers working for me on a regular basis. I'm telling you this because I want to show you that you can strategically break all the rules with my Backdoor success formula and get what you want faster while increasing your status. So I have my dream career now, and I really want to paint a picture of what it looks like to you so you can imagine. I really love freelance medical writing for so many reasons, but I had to pinpoint my top 4 things. The first one would be that I can work wherever and whenever I want. And this picture in the park is just me working from the park. And yeah, there's no reason why I need to be in a particular place at a particular time. So I really love that about my job. 2 is I get paid to attend medical conferences, which I love. So in this second picture, I got to sit in on some lectures to nurses and take notes as part of a conference and then write interesting pieces for a magazine. I got to network with loads of really cool people, and that was a badge that I had to be able to get access to everything. I also love that I can choose exactly which types of projects I want to work on and how much I earn and how busy I want to be. And then my 4th favorite aspect of what I do is that I can take vacation whenever I want. So earlier this year, I was actually working from Banff, and as you can see in this picture, I could just sit here with my computer and, mountains in the background. It was really amazing. So I also just wanted to show you one of the cool trips that I got to take. So one of my clients actually flew me out to Montreal, and that first video that was playing was my plane taking off, and I got a croissant on the plane, which I thought was just very French, and I could work on the plane too, which was cool. And I stayed in a really fancy hotel, and that right picture is just me getting room service in my hotel room. But yeah, the client paid for the whole thing, and then I actually asked to extend the trip, and I got myself some extra nights and just made a vacation out of it, and I got a lot of work done at the same time, so it was really great. I've worked for a really wide range of healthcare companies, advertising agencies, educational institutions, magazines, digital newsrooms, you name it. I've worked on big brand names, including Head & Shoulders, Crest and Oral-B, and Pampers, and for drugs made by all of the top pharma companies, including Janssen, Novartis, Sanofi, Pfizer, and Roche. I get new referrals every week, and I'm always looking for writers to support me in my thriving business. Big brands seek me out and pitch to me because I've built such a strong reputation in the market, and it really is the best. You can see some of the logos here. So how did I get here? Well, I realized that the 7 years that I spent diligently following the career path that had been laid out before me, with so much schooling and further education and a government job at the end of it, had been making me broke, miserable, and lost. I realized that conventional wisdom just doesn't work, and I was only fooling myself and cheating myself out of a future that I was excited about by listening to what everyone else said I should do. It's a given fact that most people follow the status quo and are struggling and unhappy. As we saw earlier, the vast majority of people are dissatisfied in their career. The most common reasons for job dissatisfaction include being underpaid, having no room or opportunity to grow, boredom, poor management and lack of support, and a non-existent work-life balance. But despite a lot of people regularly burning out at work, most people don't even take all of their vacation time because they fear that their company will let them go, or it's not worth the mad rush of trying to prepare everything before you go away, and then the ridiculous influx of catch-up work when you return to the office. I don't know about you, but I can really relate to this rat race and this follow the leader analogy. Following what everyone else says you should do just because you're scared of what might happen otherwise. I'm sure you've experienced this at some point in your career too, because it is incredibly common. The biggest thing that I've learned throughout my career journey, and what really led to my rapid success, is that taking the conventional route is a waste of time. You need to learn backdoor strategies if you want to thrive in your career. Following the sheep is not going to get you anywhere. There's a lot of money in medical writing right now. The global medical writing market is set to reach $3.75 billion by 2026. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a major turning point in human and medical history. More remote workers are needed than ever before. Your expertise is in very high demand, and you need to act now while this opportunity is here. You might be surprised to hear that the medical knowledge that you already have can be leveraged into the business of your dreams. There are very specific ways of positioning yourself and packaging your services in such a way that's extremely lucrative to companies. Most people don't know this, but we do at Prospology. We're always at the cutting edge of what's happening in our industry, understanding the trends from the inside out before others catch on, and I'm spilling the beans to all of our coaching clients. As I started doing so well in my career, I created the Backdoor Success Formula, or the BSF for short. The BSF is my proprietary formula that has led to all of my career success and why I started coaching with Prospology. It's my way of giving back to the medical writing community. Our coaching students see massive results in 5 main areas. These are the 5 areas in which we help our students succeed, and I'm going to go through each one and give a quick example of how I was able to use my Backdoor success formula to achieve these things. People said you need 6 to 12 months experience at an ad agency before you can freelance. But I started almost immediately and I got clients within the first 2 months, thanks to the BSF. So one of the areas we help people with is finding fast dream medical writing clients. People said you can't charge much and have to gradually increase your rate. But I said that's BS, and I charged more than everyone else from the start. And this is why our students typically have higher rates than others in the industry. People said you need to follow a specific career path for years if you want to succeed, but I jumped straight to how I can be paid for doing things that I'm good at. We help our students to carve their own paths so that their work is fulfilling, enjoyable, and they have total control over their schedule and workload. People said you can't increase your rate midway through a freelance contract, but I increased mine after just 2 weeks at my very first copywriting job. One of our strengths is in making sure that our students are paid fairly, so we teach them negotiation skills so that they can have frequent pay rises with minimal effort. People said you can't move to a new country and run a successful business. But I grew a 6-figure business in 18 months without any Canadian experience, thanks to the BSF. So we actually help other students reach 6 figures from anywhere in the world, because I myself have experienced moving to a new country, and a lot of our students have as well. Now, let me give you some specific hacks to start getting results straight away. I promised that I would, so here are some 3 hacks for your career that you can implement now. Number 1, stop saying looking for medical writing work or transitioning into medical writing or interested in freelance writing. Change your LinkedIn title and your job status to freelance medical writer. You are it as soon as you decide it, and you're available to take a project. No one will give something to you if you come across as not being ready yet. So make that leap of faith and do it now. Number 2, write a 500-word article on a particular field of interest and send it to a company you want to write for. Tell them that this is your niche and ask if they need any original articles to entice or educate their own target clients. If you don't have your own blog, you can write an article directly on LinkedIn, or you can use a platform like medium.com. There are actually free plugins that you can download for Chrome as well, which help you find important email addresses for big companies through their website. Or you can message a CEO on LinkedIn and ask for their contact info. Number 3 is ask 3 people in your network for professional recommendations. It's easy to put in a request on LinkedIn, but you can also ask via email or direct message. You can even give them a few bullet points of exactly what it is that you'd like them to say that they can cover in their own words to make it easy for them. Social proof is extremely important when you're a business owner, so knowing how to ask for endorsements is an important skill to hone. Here's a template you can use to request recommendations from someone in your network. It's something that's actually very useful to you in building your company brand and your professional reputation. Hi Bob, thanks for what you said about my work in today's meeting. Would you mind writing it out in a recommendation, please? Something that highlights my ability to communicate with stakeholders and knowledge of what makes a story newsworthy would be perfect. Thanks. So feel free to use this template and tweak it in whichever way makes sense for you, but whenever I catch somebody saying something about my work, I try to highlight those keywords and use those in the message so that they know exactly what I'm referring to. They've already said it, so they don't usually feel weird about saying it in writing. And while it's still fresh in their mind, it's a really good time to ask. Our clients experience huge success because our specialist coaching program really works. I'm going to share some of the stories of previous students who have worked with us at Prospology. Here we have Kate. Kate had a couple of draft pages of her website up, but she wasn't sure how to present her credentials, services, and portfolio materials in a way that would attract new clients. She generally felt uncomfortable marketing herself and was lacking in confidence and strategies to get out there and pitch. After working with Prospology, Kate's website is finished, restructured, and acts as a much stronger lead converter for her freelance medical writing business. She now attracts new clients with ease and is always close to maximum capacity. Melanie had a background as a medical receptionist and research scientist, but wanted to transition into a freelance medical writing career. Her biggest challenge was in finding new clients, as she'd only ever been a full-time employee and didn't know much about the industry yet. After implementing the networking and information gathering strategies that she learned at Prospology, Melanie reported making good progress towards her career goals. She found the process to be very eye-opening and inspiring, and it helped her tailor her resume to attract new clients. This is Shelley. Shelley actually came to me because she was starting a new job at an ad agency in the city, and I helped her negotiate her salary and the terms of her contract, and she said that it was a really helpful experience and that she was able to get paid a lot more. She's still doing this job now and she's really happy. She loves it. And so yeah, that's Shelley's story. Kathy came to us. She desperately wanted to have a freelance writing business of her own. She wanted to actually move to the Mediterranean because she's been learning Spanish. And she just didn't know where to start. She didn't have a website. She didn't have a targeted LinkedIn profile. She didn't have a targeted resume. She didn't really know where to start. And she hadn't really done much medical writing before, even though her background in medicine and research was very strong, having worked as a clinical pharmacist. So what we did together was we put together her portfolio and we taught her how to write pieces for that. She had coaching specifically for her website and her blog, how to maintain everything. She got her branding together. We helped her set up her LinkedIn profile, and within a week of her website being live, she already had an interview set up with a medical director, and they said that they'll want her for a project. So that's really exciting. And Kathy has been doing some writing projects for us too, because when we get a lot of work coming in, we look for subcontractors to help us out. So Kathy's been really an asset to us, and she's so much closer to her dream of moving to the Mediterranean now, because she just needs to get a little bit more work and then she can go. But everything has happened so quickly, and I'm really, really proud of her. So I never intended on becoming a careers coach, but everyone was messaging me and I started becoming friends, go-to careers consultants. And these are just some of the messages that I got through from people on LinkedIn. Some people I knew, some people I didn't, but they were just coming in almost every day. So I really decided to step it up and show up for everyone who needed me fully. And I wanted to package everything up more professionally, to bring in other careers experts and to put everything in one central place so that I could take everyone through the process in an efficient way. That's me stepping up. And that's why I created the Thriving and Free Medical Writer program, a private mentorship where I hold my students' hands and teach them all the freelance medical writing hacks that no one ever showed me. It takes you from being unsure of your niche, your expertise, how to get clients, all the way to reaching full capacity as a thriving medical writer who has the freedom to pick and choose what you want to work on your own terms. So I'm going to walk you through how it works. In the way that I decided to do this was some of the most commonly asked questions that people would come to me with and what my solutions were for them. So one of the most common questions people ask is, what type of business would suit my personality and experience? Everyone has a unique mix of medical and writing knowledge and experience. A lot of writers can't see the wood from the trees when it comes to presenting to prospective clients because they don't have an external perspective to see what's relevant and what isn't in how they brand their company, and also in which kinds of services they offer. A common mistake is when medical writers try to find what others are doing and then copy their language or story or services. And a lot of people don't have a deep, complex understanding of their own strengths as an individual and how their personality aligns with their career. So this is why the first step of our Thriving and Free Medical Writer program is conducting a thorough inventory of all your prior experiences to figure out exactly what's relevant and what isn't, and whether there are actually any knowledge or experience gaps that need to be filled in. If our students aren't already aware of their most valuable assets, transferable skills, and strongest personality traits, then we incorporate an experienced occupational psychologist into their program to help them tailor their business operations to suit their core values. This is by far the best approach when it comes to laying the foundations of a freelance writing business, because you want to have a career and lifestyle that feels enjoyable and fulfilling to you. Where should I focus my efforts to attract new clients? This is something that people come to me with all the time. A lot of writers struggle to decide if they should have a niche or not, and they spend a lot of time worrying about whether or not to specialize and go back and forth all the time, trying to figure out what to do and wasting a lot of time and energy. And even if they've decided on a niche, they typically get stuck when coming up with a marketing strategy that makes sense for their business. Most people aren't used to having to generate or qualify new business opportunities and can feel overwhelmed by all of the options, especially in this day and age when almost everything is digital and it seems like everyone and no one sees your posts. At Prospology, we know that the more specialized your services are, the more impactful your reputation is, and that being seen as an expert in your field is one of the key determinants of being able to charge a higher rate. That's why in step 2 of the Thriving and Free Medical Writer program, we help you choose your medical writing niche once and for all. And when you have a clear niche, it becomes much easier to develop a marketing strategy for your business. We help our students develop a strong marketing strategy based around their story and to choose appropriate platforms to distribute their message. This means that they save time by not marketing to the wrong people at the wrong time. Another thing people tend to get stuck with is, how do I prove to potential clients that I can meet their needs? A lot of freelance writers are unable to write about themselves and their services in a promotional yet authentic way. They know that how they present is critical in conveying their skills and capabilities and the value they offer to companies, but most writers have very generic resumes, bios, and profiles that don't help them stand out above their competitors at all. And then companies end up either not even bothering to read their copy or being totally unimpressed. A lot of writers don't have any form of digital portfolio, and they don't know how to build one or what to say when potential clients ask to see one because they've never had to do this before. So in our Thriving and Free Medical Writer program, we actually teach writers how to establish a strong, consistent online presence that showcases their unique talents and gets their clients on the phone pronto. We also help them create a digital portfolio that's impressive, effective, and easy for them to use. We bring in web specialists, designers, and any other professionals who our students need to help them learn how to build and maintain their portfolio as their business grows. We even work with them directly to develop specialized content to go into their portfolio if they don't have any suitable pieces. It's a very customized approach depending on individual needs. Another thing that people often ask is, how do I secure awesome projects and make sure that I'm paid fairly? A lot of medical writers sit around waiting for projects to come to them, and then if that happens, go along with whatever rates are offered to them because they don't truly understand the value of their work. They end up in an endless struggle to find work, losing confidence, and contemplating accepting another full-time position that they don't really want, but might make them feel a little bit more secure in the short term. Often, writers don't know what or how to charge for their services, so projects are offered to more experienced freelancers who are more confident and clearly know what they're doing. Many are intimidated by contracts and corporate agreements and don't know how to protect themselves legally and financially. That's why in step 4, we cover pitching and negotiating client contracts. So, securing projects and making sure that the terms are fair and mutually advantageous is one of our specialties at Prospology. So, in step 4, we help our students get projects that they love, working for clients they enjoy engaging and collaborating with. It's extremely targeted and effective so that you never have to accept sucky projects or work for people who rub you the wrong way. We also teach our students the essentials of negotiations, from contracts to fees to deliverables, so that they're always compensated fairly and feel appreciated for their work. And finally, people often ask, how do I deliver medical writing projects to a high standard? Freelance writers often struggle to understand what the client really wants because they aren't confident enough to ask the right questions at the right time. They feel intimidated by their point of contact or have never written that type of material before. They may turn down projects believing that they don't have what it takes to deliver them to a standard that won't disappoint their client, or attempt to deliver the project anyway, but end up damaging their professional reputation. Other writers are already overwhelmed with projects but don't know how to improve their work-life balance and increase their income by hiring people to help them. This is why in step 5 of our Thriving and Free Medical Writer program, we teach our students how to deliver projects successfully, walking them through examples, training them, and setting them assignments where it would help with their learning. We help them make sure that their clients are happy and keep coming back, and ensure that they're building a strong, positive reputation for their company. And for our more advanced students, we teach them how to expand their medical writing business, where they have a team of other writers and editors doing the work for them, and all they have to focus on is acquiring new business and maintaining client relationships. As one of our coaching clients, you'll also have access to your own personal library of medical writing resources, from writing tutorials to high-level interviews with experts in the field. Here are some of the guests that you'll find in our Careers Academy. We have Dr. Anand. He is an Associate Medical Director. Gabrielle Leonard, who's a Corporate Strategy Coach. Dr. Glenn Davis, the VP of Medical Strategy. And Evra Taylor and Alexis Campbell, who are both very successful medical writers, freelance. And Lindsay Johnson, who is a business strategist. And these are just some examples, and we're adding new content with new guests every day. And here are a few examples of the customized content that we've created for our Careers Academy. There are simple checklists and one-page handouts, such as this downloadable PDF that you can see on the left, 8 simple ways to make sure you get paid on time. There are also countless video interviews with professionals who are experts in particular areas of business. Like in the middle here, you can see Lindsay. She delivers workshops on overcoming imposter syndrome in your career. And it's a really interesting and informative discussion. And I conduct the interview with her to make sure that it's really useful for our students. And we have webinars as well, like the one in the top right. So here, more in-depth topics are explained by myself and other industry experts. This example provides writing and grammar tips to medical writers who have learned English as a second language, and is presented by someone who teaches ESL workshops all the time. We create and add new content to our academy on a daily basis, so if there's ever anything that you need that isn't already in there during your program, you can just let us know and our team can put something together. Another feature of our Thriving and Free Medical Writer program is our client portal. If you get accepted into the program, you'll be able to log in securely at any time on our website and get access to all of your upcoming appointments, surveys, invoices, contracts, and any documents that support your learning. For example, we'll record all of your coaching sessions and upload them into your client portal with titles, so it's really easy for you to find and save everything if you want to refer back to something. Okay guys, so just to recap, our students get one-on-one mentorship with myself and other specialist coaches as needed, 24/7 access to our Careers Academy of learning resources, plus the opportunity to be assigned medical writing projects during or after your program. I'm just going to quickly walk you through which each screen is showing, so that is extremely clear to you what you get when you sign up for coaching with us. So on the left here, this is a screenshot from one of our coaching sessions. So this particular client was struggling to build her website. So we have a document with all of the notes that we were making and any tweaks to the content and ideas and things we put in there. And then on the call, we can share screens with each other so we can see work in progress. We can look at other websites that we like. We can compare portfolios, graphics, design, all of that kind of stuff. So this is quite an in-depth type of practical training, but it's very, very personalized to suit your brand, your specialty, and obviously all of this was predetermined earlier on in the coaching program. Next, along to the right is a screenshot from one of our coaching sessions with Christine. Christine specializes in website development and design and branding. So some people like to have web specific training as part of their program if they are building a website and they want to have a digital portfolio. That's really, really helpful. And then top right, this is a screenshot from one of our shared documents. So when you are working with us, you will have a shared document that you can put all of your ideas and questions and feedback in. Your coach can see everything that you're working on. You put the plan in there, you put any relevant emails or correspondence or ideas for your LinkedIn or anything that you're working on. And so all the correspondence goes in there and you have somebody taking a look at everything, giving you feedback and direction every step of the way. And bottom left, we have just an example of something in the academy that you can watch. So this is one of the interviews that we have with our experts. And then in the middle, this is just part of the client portal. So you'll be able to access all of the session recordings, any PDFs or any associated files that we've recommended you look at, whether it's a scientific paper or an article or an example of something that helps you. And then you can also, as you can see in the bottom right, a lot of our academy content involves screen shares and tutorials that can help you, whether it's with your website or whether it's writing a piece or whether it's pitching or negotiations, and you can view them full screen and work through whichever things that are aligned with your goals. So you really do get your own personal life coach, writing tutor, agent, editor, strategist, consultant, all in one. So we're now enrolling our next cohort of students, and I've opened up my calendar for the next week to audition the next batch of applicants. We have very limited access to our services because our program is highly customized and it involves a lot of one-on-one attention. So if you think you've got what it takes to take on our program, you can visit bit.ly/Prospology to book in a 30-minute call with me. You'll be asked to fill out a short form before our system will let you book your slot. And this is so that we can make sure that you only show up if you're serious about growing a successful writing business. Those who show up ready and willing to learn have an amazing, enjoyable experience working with us and find it incredibly rewarding. So let me be clear, this is not a can I pick your brain call. We reserve all of our expertise for our private clients who are fully invested in their future. During the call, we'll cut to the chase about your big career aspirations, and I'll assess whether or not you're a good fit for the program. Not only do you need to have your head tightly screwed on your shoulders and an I can do this attitude, you also need to be in a financial position to invest in your future. You don't get anywhere as a business owner unless you know when to take risks and leaps of faith. So we'll determine during your call if you've got what it takes to enroll, and you can expect to be fully listened to feel understood. And if we think our program is a good fit for you, then we'll tell you exactly the steps that you'll need to move forwards. And by that, I mean, we'll explain how we intend to customize our program structure to suit your specific needs. So now you have a decision to make. Do you want to continue burning out doing unfulfilling, underpaid work that's misaligned with your career goals? Are you done with feeling underappreciated and like other writers can swoop in at any moment to take your projects for less money? Are you fed up of never knowing if you're making the right business decisions and ready to be the best boss that you've ever had? It's your choice whether to stay stuck where you are now, or you can finally step it up to achieve the life that you've always dreamt about. Now is your chance to do this. I know what I want for you, but you have to really want this for yourself. When you invest in this program, you're investing in learning lifelong skills. I had to learn these the hard way, but we're going to fast track you in our Thriving and Free Medical Writer program. These are just some of the skills that our students walk away with after completing the program. Attracting clients, financial skills, medical writing, networking, negotiation, organization and project management, and sales and marketing. Really, really useful, and not just in the medical writing industry, but in the rest of your life and other aspects of your career too, if there are other things you want to do. Not only will you have learned all of those skills, there are some tangible career assets that I want you to walk away with as well. So depending on how much time we have together, some of the things that you will have at the end of your program include a digital portfolio, job interviews, new freelance clients, a professional network, a strong online presence, targeted resume and cover letter, and writing projects. And as I mentioned before, if we have students who need to practice certain writing skills and we have projects that we need help with, then often we'll give our students projects and then they'll end up working for us or with us for a while after their program. And many people say that they actually learn more from our coaching than throughout their entire degree programs. So when they leave us, they're ready to really spread their wings and fly high. So before we end, I just want to go through some of the frequently asked questions that I get. So before you jump onto a discovery call with me, then I'll share them with you now so that you won't have these questions. So question 1 is, why should I choose coaching over an online course? If you choose to take an online course, you'll likely learn a few helpful skills and maybe even make a few valuable connections. But you'll be set back hundreds or thousands of dollars, will have lost weeks or months of your life that you will never get back, and will likely end up in the exact same place that you're at now in terms of your confidence, income, and business positioning. On the other hand, specialized careers coaching will give you one-on-one guidance with how to actually succeed in your freelance writing business. And the knowledge you'll learn will be 100% tailored to your own unique business model, explained to you with practical examples and real-life application strategy. Instead of waiting until after your program to start growing your business and making money, you'll do it from day one. There's no time wasted, and everything is fast-tracked to suit your goals and your schedule. How quickly will I end up getting writing clients after my program? If you don't invest in careers coaching, you'll likely end up doing what all other freelance writers do, which is fight over low-paying, unappreciative clients on job boards or endlessly volunteering to write for organizations just to get your name out there or get your foot in the door or gain experience. You'll probably have long gaps between projects because you won't know how to plan ahead and ensure that you have a consistent stream of interesting, high-paid work. On the other hand, if you choose to follow our Backdoor success formula, one of the primary outcomes of your coaching program will be to sign clients you love. Things will start happening very quickly as long as you put in the work and follow our recommendations. Obviously, the exact timeline will be different for everyone, and it depends how much effort you put in, but we often have an overflow of writing projects. So when we think you're ready and we have something that's a good fit for you, we'll start assigning you actual projects during or after your training to give you the exact experience and confidence that you need to build your own client base. What if I get writing projects midway through my coaching program? If you enroll in an online course or certification program and end up managing to secure a couple of clients midway through, you can't exactly skip out of lectures to go and do the actual paid work that was your end goal all along. You'll likely have to pause your program and miss a semester or drop out altogether, losing the money and feeling like it was all just a big waste of time. Whereas if you end up getting a couple of freelance writing clients during your Prospology program, it's awesome because it will just adapt your program to suit where you're currently at. So maybe you need help writing a scope of work or negotiating your rates. Maybe you want to learn better, more efficient ways of writing and referencing your work so that you can earn more for working less. The possibilities are endless, but the beauty is that you've got people on your side to guide you through every step and answer all of your questions. It really is your program. What does it look like to work together? How much support will I get? Online courses will have predetermined modules and assignments, and you'll have to go through absolutely everything if you want to get enough credit to pass. You'll likely not have any one-on-one time with the instructors or be able to customize any of your assignments to suit your own business growth goals. And it's tough to ask questions because you don't want to seem like you don't know what you're doing to the people who'll be assessing you. Whereas at Prospology, you get the best of both worlds: one-on-one coaching on exactly the areas you need support with, and 24/7 access to our Careers Academy, which will supplement your learnings with specialty content that we've produced in collaboration with top scientists, medical writers, HR professionals, medical strategists, public relations experts, medical directors, and so many more experienced professionals. You'll be able to ask your coach questions at any time. There's no such thing as a stupid question, we've heard them all. And you may even have multiple coaches involved in your program, depending on exactly what it is that you need. It's a completely different type of experience. We'll even create custom training materials for you during your program, if you feel like there's something missing that would be helpful to you. We have a whole team of writers, researchers, designers, and editors ready to go as soon as we give them the green light. And finally, people ask what results have previous coaching clients had at Prospology. So many people come out of therapy, coaching, or mentoring relationships without experiencing any sort of breakthrough or overall transformation. It may be because the person or company you work with isn't an expert in your chosen industry, or because you or they weren't fully invested in your success, or because you simply did not do what was asked of you for whatever reason. When you're choosing to work with someone on a voluntary basis or with minimal investment, it's often a waste of time. Succeeding in business does require a certain amount of skill and commitment, and not everyone has that. If you have it but your coach doesn't, then quite frankly, you're screwed. Our coaching clients always say that their career progress and business growth is sped up enormously as a result of our support and guidance. They're always surprised how easy it is to attract new clients when they follow our Backdoor success formula. The difference between following a proven method with experienced professionals holding your hand along the way and figuring it all out on your own is huge. Every single one of our students has experienced huge growth in their business since working with us, and many of them still take on writing projects for us when we have too many. We love seeing them contribute, continue to thrive, always aiming for bigger and better things, knowing that we help to kickstart the entire thing. It's so exciting. The biggest question of all is, can't I just do this on my own? You might be thinking to yourself, I'm a pretty smart and capable person. Why can't I go out and do all of this by myself? The simple answer is that if you really want to see results fast, you need to work with a coach or several. It's the only way you'll be able to streamline all of the steps and be 100% sure that you're making the best possible moves for yourself and your business. Without the kind of expert support you'll get from Prospology, you'll find everything will take you 10 times longer and feel 10 times more stressful and risky. Trust me, if I'd known what I know now a few years ago, I would have made very different decisions about how to approach my career and would have saved myself a lot of money, hassle, and burnout. Don't let yourself fall into the trap of thinking that you can do it all alone. You deserve to have someone holding your hand along the way. It doesn't have to be hard. It can actually be a really enjoyable experience to go after your goals when you're supported by a team of professionals, and all of the most successful entrepreneurs have at least one coach. I've lost count of how many I've had over the years, and it's always been a great investment for me and everyone else that I've spoken to. In case you're listening to this and you're freaking out about making the commitment to yourself and this growth opportunity, remember that I've been exactly where you are now. I had a lot of fear in the beginning, but I realized I needed to trust myself and take decisive action in order to succeed. I stopped making excuses as to why I wasn't following my dreams. I graciously accepted help from people who were older, wiser, and more experienced than me. I grabbed the bull by the horns at every opportunity I had to save myself time. After all, you can never get it back once it's passed. I learned the value of taking risks and investing in myself, and of taking full responsibility for my own actions towards my goals. And this is how I built the career that I have now. So you have a choice to make. This could be a life-changing day for you if you're willing to take action, or you could ignore this whole presentation and go back to your own life, endlessly applying for jobs that don't light you up, being ghosted, and so on. You have to take a leap of faith on yourself if anything's going to change. And I believe you can do it because I did. It's really not as scary as you might think when you have a lot of support and a clear plan of action. I wish I'd had someone there to hold my hand and answer all of my questions along the way. So now I really enjoy giving that to others. Do you want me to take you under my wing? I believe in you, and here's why. We don't take on students who aren't ready to thrive or who haven't already got what it takes to be incredibly successful as a freelance medical writer. If you're here, that's a promising start. Your discovery call with me will be your final test, as well as how you complete your intake form when you reach out to us. You might be wondering, what if I'm not smart or experienced enough to make it as a writer? Isn't this for other people and not me? Maybe I should wait another couple of years before I properly pursue this and go all in. Let me tell you, you've got this. You heard my story. I was a nanny and housekeeper with no formal writing experience and absolutely no idea what advertising even was. I still remember when my first client asked me to write a copy deck and I had no idea what they were talking about. But if I can do it, then you damn well can. The first step is to decide you're going to do it and then go all in like this is the only life you'll ever have. Being a successful freelance medical writer is so awesome. It comes with an incredible lifestyle, tons of learning and growth opportunities, and lots of money. It's definitely not something you can achieve with a regular job, and I absolutely love helping other writers see huge success in this industry. That being said, at this point in my career, I'm extremely picky about who I work with, and my time is very limited. I still have a thriving medical writing business to run, so I only offer my coaching expertise to those who absolutely need it and are willing to give it everything they've got to succeed. And as you can imagine, this type of high-level support is not cheap, but it will be one of the best investments that you make in your life, and it will fast-track you, likely saving you years of trial and error and frustration. I don't want you to apply if you're someone who expects to not have to put in any effort. I've made the career path easier for you, but you still have to show up, ready to learn and implement, and be open to feedback. We don't work with wishy-washy people, and I don't want to have to push you uphill. You need to be excited and enthusiastic about this opportunity. This is not for people who are flaky or just shopping around, and you need to come to us ready and excited, ready to invest if we're going to do this. Now, before we end, I want to show you what I imagine for you. 1 year from now, I can imagine you well established as a freelance medical writer. You're working from anywhere in the world. All you need is your laptop and internet. You've got a steady stream of work coming in from clients that you love. Everyone in your industry knows what you do, so you don't need to market yourself anymore because all your work comes in through referrals in your network. You're getting paid big bucks for your writing services, and no one ever pushes back on your rates because you know and they know that you're totally worth it. Because you're charging well and never have long quiet patches, you're able to have a good work-life balance, going on vacation whenever you feel like it, and calling the shots with your clients when you need extra time, or there are certain things that you don't feel like taking on. You have complete financial independence and never have to worry about money or feeling underappreciated or undervalued again. Your office is wherever the bleep you want it to be, and you've never felt happier or more fulfilled. Yep, you can have this. And working with us is going to be way better than having to figure this all out on your own. Trust me. So what happens next? When you go to the link, bit.ly/Prospology, on the bottom right of the screen, you'll be able to choose a date and a 30-minute time slot that works for you, as shown here on the left. And then you'll be asked to fill out a few questions that will tell us where you're currently at and help us decide whether we're going to proceed with your discovery call. You'll be emailed if your application is successful, and then you'll move on to the interview round, which will be a 30-minute Zoom call with myself. Thanks for being here. This is your time to shine. I want you to know that I fully believe in you. If being a successful freelance medical writer is something you truly desire, then it can happen for you. I know it can. If you enroll in our Thriving in Free Medical Writer program, you can rest assured that we'll be there with you on your journey the entire time, answering all of your questions and getting you right back up on that horse if ever you fall off. And this isn't just about your future and your success and your happiness. When you level up your lifestyle and obtain this degree of freedom and flexibility in your life, not to mention a higher income, it will have a knock-on effect to the people that you care about the most too. You'll have more time to spend with them, they'll see you happy, and it will make them happy, and what more could anyone want? So thanks for being here with me today. I hope you learned a lot and are feeling inspired, and I look forward to meeting you on our call.